Buckle up, baby. There's a lot of information in this one. You are going to want to stick around. Warning, this video contains very explicit language. So if you got kids around, whatever it is that you need to do, close the ears, earmuffs. I don't know what you need to do, but get set, get ready. Viewer discretion advised. Strap on! Today's video is about strap-ons. More specifically, tips and tricks for wearing a strap-on if you are plus size. I got this question on Instagram and I was like, I'm not an expert, but I love strapping on. So I am so excited to talk about this today and I'm stoked to share what I know. In this video, I'll share my advice for best practices when wearing a strap-on, great positions for strapping as a plus size person, techniques for penetration, and I'll talk about things that you should do to get physically ready to strap on. If you're new here, welcome! I took Greek in college and we used to always say kaidete, which is how you say hello in ancient Greek. Kaidete! My name is Jessamine Stanley. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm the author of the books Everybody Yoga and Yoke, My Yoga of Self-Acceptance. Join my yoga studio, The Underbelly. We have the most radically inclusive, fun, wild yoga that you will find on the internet. I really wanted to call it wet and wild yoga. And then I was like, is that gonna give the idea that it's wet and wild yoga? You're gonna have a great time. The Underbelly is the place where you go to find yourself and to find home within yourself. Click the link down in the description box to start your free trial of The Underbelly today. The Underbelly will change your life and make you love your body. Links in the description box below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into this shit. I don't know if this advice applies specifically to fat people. I have been fat my whole life. I've only ever strapped fat, but I have been fucked by people who are strapped who are not fat. And just seeing the difference between my experience and their experience makes me think that there is a difference in the experience. If you're plus size, there are things that come up for you when you're strapping that might not necessarily come up if you're straight size. This advice, honestly, I think is probably applicable to everybody and all body types, but is specifically built for people who are plus size. Also, I only strap during sex, so this video is not about packing or everyday wear or strapping with a soft cock. This is about hard cock strapping while sex. While sex? No. Strapping during sex. To me, there are a few different things that come up when you start talking about strapping on. Once you've chosen your harness and your dick, and I'll put links to my favorite harnesses and dildos down in the description box so that you can get yours. But once you've chosen the harness that works for you, it's really just a matter of getting comfortable with having a dick. And also getting comfortable with your body in the different shapes that it's gonna need to make when you are fucking another person. So I would break this down into 3 categories. Number 1 is gender expression. Number 2 is body awareness. And number 3 is endurance and physical preparedness. Let's start with number 1 because I think it's the most important thing and it's gonna guide literally everything else that you do. Strapping on is a huge expression of gender identity. Everybody has a dick. Do you hear me? Everybody has a dick.com. Everybody has a dick. Whether or not you understand it as a part of your physical body, strapping on is a very important opportunity to get in touch with this part of yourself. One of the most important things that you can do to get comfortable with your dick when you are strapping on, whether it's your first time or your 4 millionth, is to get embodied with your dick. Stroke it. Sit on your bed, either back against the pillows or on the edge of the bed, and stroke your cock. Stand in the bathroom, maybe in front of the mirror, and jack your dick. Get comfortable with your dick. Make sure you're wearing your harness on your hips, under your belly roll, so that your dick is positioned right over your genitalia. If you wear it with the straps at your waist, this is a very common fat people thing. Ultimately, we're really trying to get in touch with the pelvis. So if you put the straps of the harness at your waist level, your dick is not going to be positioned over your genitalia, and so it's going to be harder for you to understand. It's going to be harder to have a spiritual connection with it, harder to have an emotional connection with it, harder to have a physical connection with it. You're just going to be like waving the shit all over the place. So like really just get it right down there in your groin and then connect with it, stroke it. This is about creating gender euphoria, owning your dick as a part of who you are. It's important that you jack your dick so that you own it as a part of your body, not as a toy that exists outside of you. That kind of like, I'm playing with a toy and this has nothing to do with me. It makes it harder when you're strapped on to like really connect with your partner and really connect with yourself. And that's the point of having sex, is to have that deeper connection with yourself, and when you're with a partner, to have a deeper connection with another human being. Second thing is body awareness and really acknowledging your body dysmorphia. It's totally common. Maybe the most common thing that human beings do is to disassociate from your body. We all do it in different situations for different reasons. Frequently, it's a safety thing. Strapping is a great opportunity to get really in your body so you can be really present. If you're fat, it's likely that you ignore your body or try to pretend that it's not there. Again, this is extremely common. When you ignore your body, it can make it really hard to have sex in general, but especially to have strap-on sex. But when you're strapping, and as a part of your gender euphoria exercises, practice looking at yourself in the mirror. Pick up your belly with your hands and give yourself some good self-massage, particularly in the parts of your belly that feel tight or tough or tender or just otherwise really sensitive and maybe uncomfortable. Give yourself the love and respect that you deserve, so that when you get down to business, you can feel powerful and confident in your skin. When you're doing this self-massage, your hands can travel all over your body. They can go up from your belly to your chest, to your neck, to your face, and they can travel down your body, especially to your thighs, and then around to your butt and to your back. Really touching your thighs, your butt, your back is going to be great, because that is the region that's really going to get a workout whenever you start fucking another person. Okay, number 3 is endurance and physical preparedness. I would guess that the person who originally asked me this question was really asking how to feel stronger when you're strapping and less like you're going to die. Because when you're strapping, shit can get crucial and it can just feel like the most intense workout of your life. It's like being on a treadmill at like max speed and like a very high incline, but the treadmill is another human being. You're like, ah! It can literally be exhausting to strap for many different reasons. One of the reasons that it can be challenging is your thrust and the pace at which you are penetrating your partner. Another reason that it can be hard is the mind games that you might be playing with yourself. The mind games can both mentally and physically exhaust you. Literally just the physical positions that your body is in, that can be really exhausting. I'm gonna address all of these points individually. Let's start with the mind games, because I think the mind games are the biggest exhaustion point, and everything stems from there. So if you're having sex with a partner, you're strapped up, you're inside them, and if you're comparing yourself to someone else or to something else that you've seen in porn maybe, or if you have an idea of what your gender expression is supposed to be like, and so you're like kind of performing a role while you're having sex. Like if you have an idea of what your gender expression should look like to you or to your partner, or if you're distracted by something about the person that you're with, it could be anything. Like it could be the way that they look. Maybe you're really into them and you're like distracted by it. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm having sex with this person. Like, am I doing it right? Are they gonna like me? Maybe you don't really like that person and you're kind of like, when is this gonna be over? I'm not that into it. Or you might be thinking about something else entirely. Like you might be making a grocery list. You might be thinking about what you're gonna get for 4th meal after this. I have certainly thought through a Jack in the Box order while fucking somebody. So this is, if that's you, kindred spirits, I see you. And I might be like thinking through like, should I go to that Jack in the Box? Should I go to the other one? Like if you're thinking like that much, the point that I'm making is that it's distracting. You will be playing mind games with yourself and you are not paying attention to what's going on. Basically, if you're not present in the moment, then the experience of strapping is going to feel very draining. I recommend get present. Practice yoga, meditation, even just shutting the fuck up for a minute before you hop into bed with somebody so that you can get grounded and not be so distracted by everything around you. I would also recommend keep it casual. It's not that big of a deal. It's just sex. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're doing it right. The point is to feel good and enjoy yourself. Another thing that I would highly recommend, this is probably my biggest tip of the video. If you take nothing else away from this video, this is the most important thing. Be prepared to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take any of it too seriously. I mean, you're wearing a plastic dick. Like, it's funny. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's funny and it's fine. It's no big deal. It's funny. I think what can happen is that we get so caught up. You get so caught up in these narratives and like stories where you're like, this is how it's gonna go and this is how I'm supposed to to do it, and like it should be like this. And then if it's not like that, then you're like, I did it wrong. I'm bad. I didn't do a good job. I'm a bad person. And it's like, no, you're taking yourself really seriously. Like, don't take yourself so seriously. It's not that serious. Just have fun with it. So that's just in general. But also, funny shit happens when you're strapping on. Shit can be hilarious when you are having strap-on sex specifically. I think the strap-on sex and anal sex have the potential to be the funniest. You'll be in a really hot moment and like deep inside someone, and the cock will just like pop out. This literally just happened to me very recently. This happens with cis sex too. So like the angle will be great. You'll think it's great, and then shit will just pop out. You could hit a wrong angle, and then the person that you're fucking is making a facial expression that makes it clear that they are not, it's not funny. It's actually not funny. The whole thing is hilarious. So be prepared to have a laugh at yourself and at the universe, and create an environment with your partner where you can laugh and have fun because it's funny. Which brings me to my next point: establish and develop good communication with your partners. It's really important to be able to talk to your partner candidly, frankly, because like, yeah, you can talk, but you can be like lying or just being fake or just not being very forthcoming or vulnerable. It's really important to have vulnerable. Watch a Brene Brown. This is the vibe. Cut on a Brene Brown. This bitch is talking about vulnerability. Cut on Brene Brown documentary or special, the TED Talk, whatever it is. Just really get into the space of like, oh, we're gonna practice vulnerable communication. Esther Perel, that she has like a game where it's like you are establishing good communication with your partner. Play that maybe right beforehand. It is hard to have vulnerable conversations with your partners, even when you know the person, let alone when you don't know the person. That is the most important thing, because when you are not feeling present, when you're feeling anxious, when you are scared and nervous, you need to be able to communicate that with your partner. And that just means saying what's up, saying what's good, saying, yeah, it's a weird angle for me. Yeah, no, I'm not really letting into that. Actually, this is really uncomfortable for me. One of the most enlightening experiences, this was not me, this is my partner was having sex with somebody else. And she said that the girl came over, she had her bag of sex toys, and she just like handed the dick to my partner. And she was like, can you wash this off for me? And it was just this most, like, I think about that all the time because it is the most human. Just like, are you trying to get fucked right now? Like, I need for you to go wash this dick off right now. Like, and I know it's like, no, it's not I'm not wearing it. It's not my dick. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. But also get it cleaned up. And also I think it's great. Like if your partner is a sub, it's great. Like that specific example works for that. But you know what I mean. Create an environment where it's chill, no big deal. You can say whatever the thing is, because when you have those awkward moments, when something bad happens, God forbid there's a consent boundary that's crossed, it really lightens the load when you have good communication with your partner. That will help them feel more at home with you and more at home within themselves. And it'll help you feel more at home with them and more at home within yourself. I really think good communication during sex deserves its own video, but that's all I'm going to say about it for right now. So that's how you deal with the mind. Now let's talk about the body. To get your body ready physically for strap-on sex, I really recommend some kind of regular cardio practice. That could be walking, running, swimming, strength training, yoga, or anything that just gets your blood pumping. Strapping can feel so physically draining, so it's important to practice consistent cardio so that you can keep your endurance up when you're in the game. When you're strapping, there are a wide variety of positions to try. This is where it's especially important to have a very good sense of humor, because the difference between using a natal phallus during penetrative sex and a strap-on is profound, specifically when you are moving from position to position. And in my opinion, there are some positions that are really just not great for strap-on sex. That is a personal opinion. There are acrobats and contortionists out there, and like, let me not get in the way of a Sagittarius and a good time. But that is my personal opinion. Here are a few of my go-to positions for strap-on sex. These are just like aces in the pocket. Like, please experiment to your heart's content, get the Kama Sutra, do your thing. But these are my go-tos. First one is laying on your back with your partner mounted on top of you. Just heads up, in my opinion, as a person who gets on top and rides, this may not be great for the person who is on top. Like, some people don't like to be on top at all. I love to be on top. So I really appreciate having the perspective of like being a person who likes to fuck on top, but also I love to strap from the bottom. So I'm just going to give you the heads up on why someone might not like it. You on the bottom strapping, I think this is the best position, especially for a plus size person. If you are at all concerned with endurance or or just like keeping your car, like if you're tired, and bitch, even you can be fit as fuck and get tired while you're fucking. If you're tired and you need a break, get on your back and let that bitch get on top of you. That's the move. That's the vibe. That's what we're doing. Real ones know. Yeah, but it might not be great for the person on top. Your partner might not prefer being on top. If you have tight hips and a lot of low back pain, it can feel really unpleasant to be on top. It's also, being on top is a pretty intense endurance game. It's low endurance for the person who's on bottom, so that's why it's great to be on bottom, but it's pretty high endurance, I think. Well, not always, not exclusively. But like if you're like putting, especially if somebody's like putting on a show, which I don't think is necessary ever to put on a show during sex, but this is a separate, we don't need to talk about this right now. It's not what this video is about. Performative sex. I'm not a fan. I do not advocate for performative sex. Wow, that's not what this video is about. It can be exhausting to be on top. That's what I was trying to say. The other thing about being on top, you might not want to feel like you're being impaled by somebody's cock. When you're on top, you are in primary control of penetrative depth, whether the dick is shallow or deep inside you. And that can just be exhausting for the person who's on top. They really just might not want to for a myriad of reasons. It might not be ideal for the person on top, but for the person on bottom, 2 thumbs up. Fine holiday fun. Highly recommend as your go-to position for strap-on sex. I would also recommend standing at the edge of the bed with your partner either on their back or on their knees or on their belly in front of you. In this position, you get the power that comes from standing on your feet, which can be really helpful. Also helpful, kneeling either on the bed, or you can do this on the floor with your partner underneath or in front of you. This is one of my favorite positions, but it can be really challenging because it is a lot of core work and a lot of quad strength as well. It's one of those positions that it's like, you might do it for a little while and then I need to change it up because it's kind of intense physically. By far my favorite style is, and this is because I'm a Cancer who loves to be intimate, missionary style, where you lay on top of your partner between their legs, either fully on top or propped up on your hands or on your elbows. This is my all-time favorite position to strap in, but it does require communication with your partner to make sure that they are fully comfortable underneath you and that you're comfortable on top of them. In my experience, it is really common for my partners to be specifically interested in being smushed by my belly. But that's something to discuss with your partner before, during, and after sex. It's also helpful to move your belly around so that it's in a comfortable position for both you and your partner. And in my experience, it is particularly hot if your partner is the one who is moving your belly around. It's very affirming for both of you, as a fat person, as a sexual person, and it will make you feel very powerful and in control. And if you're with a partner who's not comfortable touching you that way, or if you are not comfortable being touched that way, it's a great thing to discuss before sex and then to keep discussing during sex so that you can hold hands and cross that bridge together. The last thing I want to talk about is techniques for penetration. I think there's a misconception, probably from porn, that you have to be thrusting hard and fast the whole time. I think that's a really fast way to get tired and to not want to strap anymore. Personally, I think slow and steady wins the race. Yes, a good, firm, hard, fast fucking is just what the doctor ordered sometimes. But you might thrust hard and fast for a few strokes and then change it up and go very slow with shallow penetration. You might come out completely for a little bit and just focus on clitoral or anal stimulation, oral, maybe both. Mix it up. Variety is the spice of life. And being able to move from one thing to the next will not only make you a more interesting lover to be with, but will also help you not be exhausted. I think that's all for now. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Let me know about your thoughts about everything, life, sex, everything, all the things. So stoked that you watched this whole video. Thank you so much for being here. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Find links to different strap-ons and dildos in the description box, and also you'll get links to my books and to all of my social media everywhere that you can find me across the scene. Don't forget to join my yoga studio, The Underbelly. Have a great day. I love you. Bye. See you later.